All right, everybody out there in the Craft Chest Nation, it's Craft Chest here, and we have finally come to a point to where we can continue with Project Defiant on the inside. I got a bunch of supplies in. I didn't bring the 6-pack of paint. Actually, I have a 12-pack of paint in different colors. We have the winter gray, we have the satin apple red, we have the black, we have some 2K clear to seal some things for the trim inside. So stay tuned for a lot of that happening over the next month. Hopefully we'll have most of this done by April the 2nd. There's a show that I want to go to, and this is our goal, is to put forth what I'm going to show you over here into here, and we got a project in the house to fix the floor. I'm probably not going to show that though. All right, but let's get going and show you some of the goodies. Since I have a router that I'm borrowing from JP from the Gods of Games, I decided I'd buy him something for the use of his tools. He's let me use a battery charger, his router, a couple other knickknacks, the belt removal tool and what have you. So I decided to buy him a circle guide kit for his router, and this right here I'll have to actually practice up on, because I'm gonna be honest with you, I have never used one of these. So we'll use some scrap wood over here and see what we can come up with as far as perfecting the circle, because we will be cutting some circles, and I'll show you a picture in a spliced in part of a video when we go to the desktop after a while and show you what we have going on with the power of paint. And that's what I use. I don't have box building programs. It all comes from a craft of the mind. Now moving over here, something that I have used in the past is a pocket hole jig, and this is a Craig. Everybody just calls them a Craig because that's what they do pocket holes. Of course, this won't be all the screws. This coupled along with a couple of boxes of drywall screws, that'll get us going there. Plus we have this SMD one channel speaker terminal, grade 8, and I'm not 100% if I want to go with these bolts or not. I may actually try to go to Lowe's or some hardware store and see if we can find bolts like this, but see if we can find some pure copper bolts. If not, we'll just go with these. And of course, these have the ring terminals inside the box and outside the box going to the amplifier, because what we will end up having is 2 U-18's running down to 1 ohm on the JP23. And then in the future, the future, no spoilers on that though, you're not going to believe it, but I don't know if you can see the shadows, but we're going to end up with this many amps. And I'm kind of taking my time on the amp thing, because word on the vine says he has some other amplifiers coming out in the future. Plus one of these right here for the amplifier that's in there now, which is a DS18, and this is a 1/0 double lead in, 1 out to the amplifier. So I went ahead and picked up one of those. I thought I had one, but it was for the 4-channel amplifier, or the 4-gauge amplifier, and not the 0-gauge. Plus we had we bought this, I don't know, gaff tape, I guess you call it, that cloth tape, loom tape. I got a 4-pack of this, and I ain't gonna bust that open because that thing looks like it'll spring apart like a jack-in-the-box. All right, and then finally over here, finally, after many a moon and waiting for them to resupply, because this stuff right here down here has been hard to get, and it doesn't look too bad. I see a couple little spots that they've puttied over, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4 sheets of 3/4 inch birch. And I asked them down there if they had, oh, this is Indonesia, huh? I asked them if they had 13 ply Baltic, and they said no, but we have 3/4 inch China birch. And so I was like, give it to me. And that's what we're working with here. Plus I have this big old sheet, and this is actually going to be fixing the floor in the house, and that is a gnarled up sheet of plywood right there, ain't it? What is that? Holy crap. I don't even know if I want that in the house. Look at this. That is, they got the nastiest piece of wood they could find to bring to me. Well, that was roulette on that one though, because I had this stuff delivered, and it actually ran me about 4 days late. I should already have this stuff cut. I should already have this wood cut down, and this video should have been, today's video should have been actually showing the after cuts. But we're going to get some cuts going today. First of all, I'm going to cut this out 82 and 5/8 inches to fix a big old patch of floor that's starting to give way in the kitchen area in there, and get it all battened down and cleaned up and all that. And then we'll come back and show you some measurements. And I have some other, oh yeah, that's right, I do have some other tools that I'll show you. Big old long straight edge for doing this project, and a couple of little knickknacks. I forgot I kicked it off to the side right there. And then we'll start getting some measurements out on this. And like I said, I will splice in a piece on the desktop showing you what we're going to be doing with this. And this is tentative. I'm 90% positive that the plan that I have is going to work to go in to the Defiant. All right, it's all going to determine on the test cuts I do, and the test cuts I do will still be usable if I have to modify the plans on how this box is going to be built, because I want it to be a modular box. Everything that I've ever built has been a modular design, maximum space used, best sound that I can get, but able to come up out of the vehicle if you so wanted it to. Just like the other box with the Sundown 12s in there. Couldn't get it through the trunk, but taking out the back seat and a couple of little brackets, it is perfect, slides right up in there. All right, and that box slams. Just ask JP from the Gods of Games. He's in his vehicle right now, and something that I haven't been able to say in a while. I heard him coming as far as the base is concerned. All right, so let's have a look at these right quick before I turn this off and get this piece of wood cut here. Yeah, these don't look too shabby. They're not all knotted up. These are actually pretty decent looking. Pretty decent looking. Looks like, is that the same tree? Looks like this came off the same tree. That piece did anyway. Yeah, so these are some good looking pieces. Oh look, I think it did. Is this, what's this one? See these knots? These knots right here, and those right there, and those right there, they all match as far as where they're at. So yeah, I think that all came off the same tree. Huh, I think that's something. And that's just a little, that's not a, yeah, that's just a scuff mark right there. So yeah. Oh man, this is gonna be awesome. Stay tuned. All right, everybody out there, and as promised, I'm going to show you the rough draft of what we're going for as far as the next step of Project Defiant for the two U-18s from Sundown Audio, and this is just the next step to the project, but it's a huge step because this is the semi-final version of what I want to put inside the car. I've always wanted the 18s, and Sundown Audio makes some pretty good 18s as far as I'm concerned. Now, they make some hefty 15s and 12s as far as the X Series, the Team Series, the Neos, and what have you. But I went with the U-18s, and mine are not going to be the be-all, end-all because I have the 4-ohm versions, but there's a reason why I went with those for down the road. And I'm talking about by end of the year if JP from Down for Sound doesn't come up with any larger amplifiers. I do have a tentative plan for these subwoofers. Now, without further ado, let me show you what we have going on here, and it's about to get bright. So let me go ahead and bring this up, change my scene right quick, and here we go. This is what we're working with right here. This is the power of paint, because I don't use box programs. I like to sit down and doodle myself, take sheets of plywood, how wide I know they are, how long I know they are, how thick, what have you, and just sit there and do my own measurements. And a lot of it has to do with the space that we have allotted in the car as far as getting it through the door. You know, do I want to build it in the car? Do I want it to be modular? And this build, technically, if all the measurements are right, and I've done my part, should be a modular box to get inside the car, take it out if I need to. Now, yes, I'm going to have to remove the front seats to get it in the car, but that said, I still should have a pretty damn good fourth order build going on here. If you like what you see, and in the future, if you like what you see, what I'm going to show you here coming up in another little clip, And in future videos, hey, screenshot this and save it and use it as a guide for maybe a build that you may want to do. Now keep in mind, this is 4 sheets of plywood because the box is double baffled all the way around. And I'm calling it a baffle, but it's a double box. I could have very well done, you know, single sides, double back, double front, you know, double baffle, double bottom, whatever. But I just decided to do exactly like the build that I got the idea from. And this is a modified version of a 4th order box that Next Level Car Audio, and I don't know his name, but I'm just going to call him Next Level Car Audio. I'll put a link down in here to the description because the credit goes to him for this. And we'll go ahead and bring this up and show you what the box is going to look like minus that plexiglass hole that he has in the front. So I'll let this roll right here. We'll get a little closer shot of it right here. There we go, right there. So my port is going to be 8 inches by 39 inches across. All right, so 39 by 8. I don't know what my actual tune port needs to be, which is this little ledge right here. I'm not going to have this window, all right, going on here, but the rest of the box is pretty much what you see is what I'm working on right now. Now I will be doing, and let me get him around here. I will be doing some rabbiting. Let me move myself out of the way. I will be doing some rabbiting right here in this back corner because of the curvature, and you'll see that in a future video of the back of my car where the headliner comes down. I do not want to remove my headliner. I'm trying not to damage my headliner. So being that it's doubled up, I will be doing a little bit of rabbiting right up in here and making a groove, and then roundovers on top of that to make it nice and smooth. And then on top of all that, I have a gallon of Raptor liner on the way. We will be shooting a couple of coats of Raptor liner on this bad boy. And I'm going to let this roll. He's going to put it up here into the vehicle. Now the backside of it, all right, the backside of it, let me get myself back out the way one more time. Put myself back down here. Will look like this. All right, I will have a 2-inch down from the top of the back plate, which is going to be doubled. All right, I have an 18 by 24 inch, 3/4 inch thick plexiglass window sitting right in there for this, and I'm going to copy this as best I can. Now, the only thing that I have a question about are the screws or bolts that he used. I don't know if he used pocket threads, metal threads to go in here, or T-nuts or whatever you want to call it to mount this. I don't know if he went straight into the wood. I'm not 100% about how he did this. All right. But for me, what my plan is to kind of halfway copy this window. All right. And do the best I can. Now, drilling it, pretty much straightforward. You lube up your bit. A lot of people use WD-40. A lot of people use other lubes, whatever, to keep the glass from getting hot and cracking and splitting, whatever. But being that it's 3/4 inch thick, really shouldn't be a problem, and I'll research that a little bit more. So this part's not a problem, all right, as far as getting the window. The reason why I'm not doing the front and rear window is because my port's going to be 8 inches wide, and from where I measured it inside the car, and I can come back over here, I should, in theory, still be able to use my rear view mirror and see all the way across and through the back window. Now, yeah, I will be doing some cosmetic to the rear deck here in the future. I do have a plate out there for it, but the more I thought about it, I might want to wait on that because this box will be able to be moved if I needed to move forward to get in there to do some things to the rear deck. I do have a sheet of maple, a little thin piece, I don't know, 1/8 inch thick or whatever it is, to maybe cut out a pattern. But I got to thinking about that. I was like, you know, that might cause some unnecessary vibrations, but I can pad it or put a some type of padding or matting on the bottom of it and then place it down, or even use some sound deadening material to put on it on the rear deck and then put that on there at a later time. It's not like I can't get something in the car after the fact. Plus, in a future video, you'll see where my sides are going to be angled as far as sealing it off, and it's going to be pretty cool, actually. So stay tuned for that. We'll have one more look at this right here. This is the rear view, pretty much a modified version of the box you see right here. And I looked at a bunch of these, and the more I looked at this one right here from Next Level Car Audio, the more I said, you know what, that's what I was going for. So let's try to build that right there. All right, I go by KISS, keep it simple, stupid. All right, and the more I can keep it simple, stupid, for me, being that I'm having to do this in steps because I worked at 9 to 5 just like everybody. I wish it was 9 to 5. My schedule is usually 10 to 7, but seeing that I have a full-time job and all that, it's kind of rough being able to keep up with all the projects. Day here, work 3, off, you know, go back to work, whatever. Having to do clothes, you know, taking care of all your personal stuff. I don't have anybody to do my stuff, and that's why it's taking so long with this project. And then there's the straight up, I am tired. Like today, I am just straight tired. I don't feel like doing it, but I drug my ass out. We went out and got some fasteners. We went out and got some stainless steel bolts for the second subwoofer. We got the T-nuts. We got the screws, both 2.5 inch, 1.25 inch, all the fasteners. I got plenty of glue. I bought a gallon of glue, so we got plenty of glue. We got the liquid nails. We're ready to go. I just need to get the center brace for the subwoofers and the port figured out. The actual tune port, which is the ledge of the opening, figured out as far as how long that needs to be. And if there's any gurus out there that want to help me out, figure it out for me. The box is going to be, inside measurement is going to be 39 by, what did I say? 28 by 21. All right, does that make sense? And that's the inside measurements. The seal chamber on the subwoofer side is going to be 10 inches by 21 inches by 39 inches. And the only last thing I need to figure out, the actual port area is going to be 39 by 8. And I need to figure out how big the ledge needs to be across there for the tune port. Do I need to be 6 inches, 8 inches? I don't know. That's the part that I'm kind of, you know, and I could play with it. I mean, I could take 10 inches and then work my way back and do the tuning frequencies. I think I have access to an SSA. At least I did the other day, and I wish I would have thought about it and had my GoPro on. I didn't even think about it. But JP from the Gods of Games has access to an SSA. So we will, in the future, be able to mess around with that. All right. And that guy that he borrowed it from also has a term lab. And it's one of his friends. So, hey, all is not lost. I'll just have to mess around with that port and go from there. Now, before this video goes way too long, I'm going to end it here. Good stopping point. Let's have another look at this. This is what we're going to be working with. And all the props in the world to Next Level Car Audio. Get a lot of ideas from this guy. He keeps it real. He's down to earth. Saves you a couple of pennies. He's not a fanboy of one company or another. All right. He's just into car audio just like we all are. And there you go. All right. It's a craft of the mind. Go out there and have some fun and stay tuned for the next video, which was, you know, it's going to be a ramble just like this one. Woo! Project Defiant.
I suggest evacuation plans begin immediately.